Arma Reforger's new update 1.6 kinda got out to a rough start, but now that all the mods are in a working state again, and nothing really seems to be too broken, and I believe console players are having a better experience than when this update first launched, I think it's finally time we make another best servers list. This is where I show you guys my personal recommendations on the best servers in Arma Reforger, from the most realistic PvP combat to beginner-friendly experiences where not only experienced players can enjoy themselves, but newcomers to Arma Reforger can learn to hone their skills before diving into ultra-hardcore simulation. And with that being said, let's not waste any more time and dive straight into my personal list for the top 5 best servers in Arma Reforger 1.6. The first server for me on the list has got to be Old Guys, definitely my go-to experience right now, having 4 different PvP servers on the maps North Carolina, Kolgiev, and for Ukraine warfare we have Udachny and Zarichny, which also have drones on those 2 maps. Also, the download size of this server is very decent, at as low as 12.1 gigabytes up to 14.1 gigabytes, making it very friendly for consoles. Performance on these servers is very good as well, at least for me. I've experienced little to no crashes, being able to play full matches back to back, and the teamwork is awesome in this server. As well as I will say, since there's not that many crazy mods like GRS, you have a lot less people sitting at the base playing Barbie. You have people actually getting into fights and getting into combat, which is awesome. It's great to see, and I highly recommend this server. From intense urban combat to jungle warfare, these servers offer any kind of conflict you guys might want to participate in, and I highly recommend them. Now, let's say you're looking for something a little bit more immersive. Let's say you're looking for the most realistic experience on Arma Reforger, at least on the PvP side of things, and that 100% has to go to Spearhead's ultra hardcore servers. These servers simulate Ukraine-Russian conflicts going on in current world right now in Arma Reforger, and it's some of the most fun and frustrating times I've had on this game, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. Let's go over the download size. Having a lot of mods having to do with obviously simulating realism, it causes the server to have a slightly higher download size. It's going to cost you about 17 to 18 gigabytes to run this server, but I will say the performance in here surprisingly is very good. This is also most likely due to the fact that you're not constantly in action. Firefights aren't constantly taking place because you can only spawn at your main operating base. Therefore, people play their lives a lot more smart and strategic here. When you get into gunfights, that gunfight might cost you having to go all the way back to main operating base and another 10-minute car drive where you're going to risk probably getting RPG'd. But that's the realism factor. Now, I will say this server does slightly frustrate me with all the level locked stuff, especially since it's like ultra hardcore. You would think you'd be able to just go ahead and pick everything, but I will say it does add to the firefights. You know, you don't get NVGs right off the bat, so your first nighttime experience, you're probably going to be using a flashlight, which honestly does add to how unique the server is, and I truly enjoy it. While it's frustrating, it's definitely the most immersive experience you can get on Arma Reforger, and that's why it's on this list. It's truly peak immersion. Now, let's go away from PvP for a second. Let's talk about PvE. Now, there's a server I used to play called the 75th Ranger Regiment, and it's honestly just as awesome now as it was back then. I also play a server called SFA Delta, but that's a little bit more of like a private thing that you guys could join as well. And if you guys have any other milsims you guys would like me to try out, I'm more than down to go on any operations. Just hit me up with a time and a day, and I'll make sure that I'm there, alright? But I do have to say, for public operations, 75th Ranger Regiment has it all. You have immersive, pretty cool scenes and things like that, and huge operations with over 90 players, and you also have that typical chill sim comedy stuff that happens throughout the entirety of an operation.
Yo, bro, you mad thick, my boy. Oh my god. Yo, bro, oh, you're twerking that in my face too? Oh,
Yo, stop honking. We're driving here. Look, see? Look at you. Idiot.
Dumbass.
Hey, yo, Toy, shoot some. Not us, though.
I mean, that hill over there looks pretty evil.
I saw Tally with Christmas.
Woo-hoo-hoo! America! That was pretty awesome.
Transportation available.
Yeah, let's keep wasting taxpayer dollars.
Damn right.
So if you're down to have some good vibes, spend some time with some homies, and honestly do some really cool ops, 75th Ranger Regiment's got it all. So highly recommend their public operations servers. I absolutely love Kunar Province. I know OPR Fargo actually has a server on that as well. I wish it was populated. I wish there was more PvP on this map, but PvE will do me just fine as well, and I highly recommend you guys check out this experience as it's awesome. Now, going back to PvP, I really want to mention the Insurgency servers. I know they also, from Arma Conflict, have the Vietnam servers, but personally I enjoy more modern combat, and the Iraq servers are awesome. They have cool CQB, and they have their whole own custom like UI and stuff that has like a calling card, challenges are supposed to be coming soon. It's really cool to see this level of integration into the game, and it makes it almost feel like its own standalone game. While there might not be that many weapons or choice of stuff to use, what they do have is very clean and very straightforward, meaning you're not at the arsenal the whole time, kind of like old guys. And on top of that, this server is very low on mod space. It's only 6.8 gigabytes, and I plan on making a full-scale video on this server very soon. But this was really fun, alley to alley, door-to-door combat, and I really enjoyed it. So I highly recommend you guys try the Iraq servers and the Vietnam servers if that's more your speed, but I personally prefer the Insurgency ones. Both awesome, both have really low download size and very quick to get into and straight into the action. Now, typically for the 5th server, you guys would probably obviously just assume I was going to put WCS here or something like that, but I'm actually going to put Rubber Band Rangers here, as they have a lot of the same mods as WCS, but for me, as I'm on the West Coast, it's kind of nice ping in 26, okay? But obviously, not only that, I absolutely love the community here. This is actually where we filmed with Task Force Nude, quote unquote. In that Kolgia video, it was a ton of fun. If you guys haven't checked that out, I highly recommend it. It's a super funny watch. Wait till the end of this video, though, because we still have some honorable mentions, and WCS obviously is still one of them. But this server does have a lot of great options as well, outside of the normal WCS and RHS stuff, and I really enjoy the variety here on top of the consistent play, and it does seem like this server is one of the best performing ones just for me. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like I've had consistent experiences in Rubber Band Rangers all across the board. Might be because of the low ping, but I really enjoy this server. Now, I want to take a minute to quickly mention some other servers, whether it be EU, which I obviously don't get to play because of ping, or a few other servers that obviously we've mentioned in the past, but either I haven't gotten to play too much in Update 1.6, or we just already know the experience there. One of those being obviously WCS, having servers in both America and Europe, having a bunch of servers. As a matter of fact, probably one of the highest amount of servers of any server on Arma Reforger. You guys will always be able to find an experience, whether it's AAS or actual conflict or HQ conflict. You guys can find it with worst case scenario. Now, let's also talk about OPR Fargo. OPR Fargo having 4 different servers and an EU server as well. Once they get more seeded and actually get those 2nd and 3rd servers filled more consistently, I'll finally hopefully be able to hop back on OPR Fargo. I absolutely love those servers, but I simply just haven't been able to get into a game since the update came out. It's been even hard to get into old guys servers, so when I hop on, usually it's kind of late night, and unfortunately for me, when I'm on, OPR isn't really populated at that time. But if you're lucky enough to actually get into a game, I highly recommend OPR Fargo as well. Now, let's also talk about Triple Threat Tactical. Made by Cyanide, I really think this server is really unique. It just doesn't get seeded all the time, but if you play it around midday to early afternoon, you guys can consistently find matches here on the Enhanced Evron map, which is a really cool, refreshed version of Evron with the same points that you know with a completely different look. I highly recommend this server if you can catch it with a decent pop. Since I'm on degen timing and it's 5 AM as I'm filming this, unfortunately, the server isn't really full when I'm up. But I can't wait to hop back in again on the new update, as I haven't played it since the end of 1.5, and I really hope to get back in soon because Cyanide, you've created a masterpiece there. Absolutely love Triple Threat Tactical. Now, for the last EU server that I have any experience with is going to be Conflict in Europe, only because I've played their scenarios a lot on a lot of US servers. So Conflict in Europe is a great one, and some of my Australian friends who I've met through drift simulators and things like that tell me that FTA is pretty good on the Australian side. So hopefully that helps some of you guys out in different places where I might not be able to play in your region. I'm still able to give you some decent suggestions for experiences that might be able to be played in your region. Now, with that being said, I'd like to remind you guys that obviously my list isn't final, okay? I am not the all say be all of what are the best servers in Arma Reforger. I just give you guys my personal recommendations that I play the most consistently and receive the best feedback from. Now, if you guys have any servers that you guys enjoy, be sure to make sure to leave it down in the comments immediately. So not only I can learn about them, but other people can learn about them as well. As a matter of fact, that's how I found Old Guys, and now it's my favorite server to play on Arma Reforger. So without further ado, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one, and that's been another best servers in Arma Reforger list, and I'm out. Peace.